Hi, everyone. My name is Jesse Russell. I'm the coordinator of recruitment at Canadore College, coming to you from my office in beautiful North Bay, Ontario. I'd like to thank you for joining us on this Saturday. So before we get started, I'm going to just show you a few things on a presentation, as well as I'm going to take you through our Join Us page. So our Join Us page is an amazing resource for prospective students. It was created for that purpose. So through the Join Us page, you can find our virtual tour. You can set up a guided tour with a member of our team, both virtually and in person. You can check out our virtual program guide. The page even scrolls through. And through the virtual tours, you can check out each of our North Bay campuses, as well as our Parry Sound campus and residence. So if for any reason we get disconnected or you got to run, I would always encourage you to visit canadorecollege.ca/join us. It's an amazing resource. And there's a few good contests you'll see there too. So I'll get started then. So one of the first things I want to say is this page right here. So we did a poll out, and there are some words that are pretty generic here. However, a lot of these words were used to describe Canadore by our students. So inspiring, quality, local, home, future, excited. These are all words we use to describe the college, because Canadore College has the advantage of being a small to medium-sized school that it's a community. You really get to know your professors. You really get to know the community you're living in. And our students do great with that. And I'll go into that a little bit more as we go. So the first thing is location. So location, for some, you might know where North Bay is. For some, this may be your first time hearing it. North Bay is equal distance between Toronto and Ottawa. So you're looking at about 3.5 to 4.5 hours. Now, having lived in all three of these places myself, I can say this is always traffic dependent, and the traffic's not on our end. That's one of the things that drew me back to North Bay is you don't have to wait. You can get everywhere very easily. We have accessible transit. Driving in the community is very easy. There's barely any traffic. It's very easy to get around. We're fortunate to have a college and a university, so it is a student town. We have about 60,000 people, and we're surrounded by many beautiful lakes. So if you like the outdoors, you like hiking, you like mountain biking, we actually just opened up our first official mountain bike trails. So if these are things that interest you, this is definitely a great community. We have an OHL hockey team as well. So if you're into sports, there's always something to do. Students that come here, a lot of them end up staying here. And a lot of people that leave the community to go, say, explore bigger cities, such as myself, I can speak from experience, often end up coming back because you miss the charm. So campuses. So we have 3 campuses in North Bay, as well as one in Parry Sound. So I'll go through them one by one just to kind of explain a few things, and then I'll show you where you can actually see them yourself on the virtual tour. So our Aviation Campus, this is one of the things Canadore is really known for, is aviation. And that's because we have the largest number of aircraft out of any Ontario college. We actually have a skills champion in the aircraft maintenance program with our aviation as well. So we also can teach you how to build a plane. We can teach you how to fix a plane in terms of the maintenance. We can teach you how to work in the cockpit, so with the avionics. And we can teach you how to fly both planes and helicopters through our partner institutions. And this is one of the few fields I've seen, college or university, where the employers are coming to us. So it's pretty exciting. If you think about it, that doesn't happen very often. A lot of people go into post-secondary hoping for a job, and this does happen often. Post-secondary is an amazing route to go. However, it's very rare that recruiters actually come into the institution and want to meet with your grads to offer them jobs, and this happens in aviation. One story I always like to tell, there was a student that I first met when I was first starting out. They were starting their 3rd year in one of our aviation programs, and I said to them, "So what jobs do you have lined up?" And they said, "Well, I don't know yet. I have to apply." And to be honest, I'm a little concerned as to whether or not I'm going to find one. And I said, "Well, I'll see you at graduation, and it'll be a different story." So graduation comes, I run into this individual. They said, well, the problem is now I have 3 job offers and I don't know which one to choose. They're all in great places that I wanted to live. So this is what happens with these students, and even with COVID. So there was a big misconception about the field of aviation that because of COVID, there was a serious dip in the amount of jobs available. However, what's seldom acknowledged is that passenger flights did go down. There's no question. However, when passenger flights went down, cargo flights went way, 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 way up. And that's due to the amount of commerce, ordering online. To be able to ship all these things and accommodate that, they were actually overhauling passenger flights to cargo flights. And this demand stayed strong as people have shifted their habits, even with the addition of passenger flights going up. So I can assure you, this is a great field. Some of these students within 5 or 6 years are living all over the world and making 6 figures. So definitely do not, if you're interested in working with your hands, if you're interested in an opportunity to have a great career that can take you anywhere in the world with a school that has a fantastic reputation, definitely consider aviation. So I'm just seeing a few, we do offer, Elijah, we do offer quite a few postgraduate programs. I'd encourage you to go on our website, so canadorecollege.ca, and then programs. There's many post-grad options available. In terms of accounting, we have a 2-year business accounting program. What's your favorite thing about North Bay? Well, that's a tough question. I would probably say the lakes. I'm a big fan of the water, so being close to the water was really important when I moved back here. And being able to get to the lake, either to take my dog for a swim or to go boating, is very important to me. So I love the lakes, and I love the food. We have really amazing local restaurants here. One of them actually has a location at our College Track campus called Twigs. So you might want to look that up. Absolutely. Can Canadore help me apply to careers after grad? Yes, 100%. So I'm going to touch on that a little later in my presentation with the Center for Career Development. So stay tuned and you'll get an answer to that for sure. I'll go into that a little deeper for you. So the next campus is our Commerce Court campus. So Commerce Court, we consider this one's called our trades campus. We have amazing trades labs. One thing I always say to students is whatever you're choosing, you want to make sure that you're going to get hands-on experience. Use the analogy of if you're playing a sport, right? You want to get a ton of time practicing. You want to get those reps in. Practice makes perfect. Well, that applies in anything you do. And that's why we offer fantastic labs. They're huge. Our construction lab, for example, you can build 3 full-size 2-story houses in it. Our welding lab has 33 individual welding stations. And our classes are often, we often don't have class sizes that exceed that. So think about in terms of how much hands-on experience you're going to get. If you go to a really, really big school, there's a chance that you're going to be waiting in line to do things, or you might be at a welding station waiting your turn with 4 or 5 other peers, right? So how much time are you actually going to get? How confident are you going to feel? Additionally, if you're having to do something in front of a large group of people, are you really going to feel that great about it, right? So with us, with our smaller class sizes and our individual welding stations, our individual machine lab, motive power, plumbing, electrical, our engineering programs, both mechanical and civil, you get a ton of hands-on experience. So you're not going to have situations where you're waiting in line to do things. See, our labs are built on industry standards to meet the demands of the emerging fields, right? So take electrical techniques, for example. They do, we're one of the few schools that actually teaches electrical through Ethernet cables. So this is a huge opportunity to take a unique experiences that are going to set you aside when you're applying to other jobs. In terms of other programs that are available at Commerce Court, our police foundations and our community justice programs are available there. We have simulation rooms for them as well to simulate investigations, to simulate policing scenarios. We have a courtroom to simulate court. We have a jail cell. And we've also built a direct pathway with the Ontario Provincial Police. So students in our Police Foundations program get an amazing opportunity to have direct entry into the auxiliary program with the Ontario Provincial Police. So this is really unique. And if you're interested in a career in policing, it kind of gives you a head start, right? And then the last three program areas are recreation therapy, recreational leisure services, as well as strength and sport conditioning. So these are all, if you're interested in the outdoors, if you're interested in being a guide, if you're interested in working with, say, elderly patients on recreation, if you want to be, if you want to work with sports teams, these are all really good opportunities. And these programs have amazing pathways with Limerick University in Ireland. So you can actually start out, and I will get into pathways a little bit more, but you can actually start out at Canadore and then complete your degree at Limerick University in Ireland. So I'll move on to our biggest campus, and this is the College Drive campus. So College Drive campus, it's one of the few in the college system that shares its space with the university. So Nipissing University is attached, if you've heard of that. Chances are, if you know anyone that's a teacher, you may have. And this is one of our newest areas that you're looking at. So this is called the Village. So the Village is the first of its type in the Canadian schooling system, in the sense that it teaches Eastern, Western, as well as Indigenous health practices. So we have amazing labs dedicated to nursing. We have both the practical and the BSCN program, dental hygiene, occupational and physiotherapy, respiratory therapy, our Indigenous wellness and addiction prevention program, and even social service worker. Each of these programs you'll see through our virtual tour have fantastic lab spaces, and they're to prepare students for scenarios in the real world. So if you take nursing, for example, a lot of schools have nursing labs to do simulations, but not a lot of schools have won awards around the world for that. We have. Our simulations are all life stages. So you can actually see a simulation of an infant, a premature infant, all the way to childbirth. So we have simulations that give birth. I've seen it myself. It's quite shocking. And we go beyond that. We have an operation room simulation room. We've built an apartment within the college, because nursing or the personal support worker program are very broad. You might not be working in a clinical setting. You might actually be working in a home. So that's why we've built this apartment, so that people can do assessments, right? Because you can go in the apartment and look at the fridge and make sure that when you're assessing a patient, you're assessing that they can take care of themselves as well, right? So you go in and look at things to make sure that, say, there's not bananas in the washroom, or there's not laundry detergent in the fridge, and to make sure that they're able to take care of themselves. So these are the additional steps we take to make sure students have these opportunities. One that really sticks out to me is social service worker. So our social service worker program has amazing placement opportunities. There's and that's not uncommon compared to other schools, but where we really separate ourselves is we've actually built interview rooms. So you can do video monitored interviews. And let's see, a question here. I'll get back to that. So you can actually do interviews that are video monitored. So you can go over that with your faculty and actually ask some of the and go through and say, what have I done good? What do I need some work on? And that's built in collaboration with our acting for stage and screen program. So we'll actually come out and get the opportunity to practice acting, and you'll get to work with them and do some work counseling them. So this is a huge opportunity. This is another step that we take to prepare students beyond. So it's not only relying on teaching you theory, and relying on the placement to teach you practical. We make sure that when you go and do your practical, you're ready. When you go do your placement, you're ready, because we've given you the practical. We have an amazing ECE lab. That's another area. Our dental hygiene clinic is actually open to the public, so you get to work with real, actual patients. So and this is all available for the virtual tour. So please be sure to check that. So before I move on to the next area, I'll go on. Are there opportunities for co-op placements? Yeah, we have placements in a lot of our programs. So you'll actually have, it depends each program. So if you actually look at, go on the program page, so CanadoreCollege.ca, and then search programs, you'll be able to see. So this community justice, for example, I believe there's a 400-hour placement, as well as there's placements with our recreation and leisure programs. There's a placement with social service worker. There's a lot of our programs have placements. Can Canadore help me to apply to careers? Yep, for sure. So I'll touch on that in a little bit later. What can I do to set myself apart from other students? Well, the main thing I would say is grades. Work hard on your grades. It depends. A lot of our programs, as long as you meet the requirements, there's not a grade. There's only 3 or 4 programs within the college where your grades having, say, 80s or 90s are very important. That's our 2-degree programs. Respiratory therapy, dental hygiene, and practical nursing. And that's because the programs are so competitive. However, if you're seeing on a program page, take recording engineering and music production, for example, that you need to have your high school diploma with your grade 12 college level English, well, then if you have that, you will be offered admission. My best advice, if you're interested in programs, is apply. Offers are going out in November now, so don't delay on that. If you apply to a program now, you can go do that through OCAS. You can do it today. You do it while I'm talking. And you receive your offer, say the first week in November, don't delay. Because what happens is if you delay, once that date passes on May 1st, then we can start moving down the waiting list. So if you like a program, apply. And then make sure if it's a competitive program, you still have lots of time. Make sure your grades are good. You're in your first half of your grade 12 year, or even in grade 11 for some of you. So just make sure your grades are good. Canadore help you apply to careers? Yeah, I'll touch on that. Boost your application. Are there opportunities for residence for first-year students? Is it guaranteed first year? Absolutely. So residence is guaranteed first year. I'm going to go over residence a little bit more later on in the presentation. So to get back, next area I want to cover is culinary. So culinary is one of the areas that was really hit by COVID, but is booming now. If anyone's eaten at a restaurant, you'll see that there's help wanted signs for both chefs, sous chefs, servers. There's a ton of great opportunities. And one of the ways we try to make our culinary program unique in our culinary management program is that we teach you the full gamut. So not just chef work, but we actually teach you management as well, hence the management title. So and as such, we have a restaurant. You can look it up online. I believe it's ranked #1 for TripAdvisor in the North Bay area. It's called 100 Elements. So this is a fine dining experience. The food is absolutely amazing. Right now they're doing takeout, but they're going to be moving back, I believe, in the new year to actually have people on site. So if you are in the area and you want to try out some amazing food, come with your family and friends to 100 Elements. I assure you will not be disappointed. But even that, right? Fine dining is one thing, but we realize that, hey, there's some other opportunities to give our students some experiential learning. What else can we do over the summer? So one of the things we've decided to do is we built a food truck. It's called Brewside Eats. It lives at a brewery in North Bay. And Brewside Eats is a food truck that's ran by our students. Food trucks are huge. A lot of big cities, you'll see lineups of food trucks. And as such, we wanted to give our students that opportunity to actually work in the field when they're not in class. And they're paid to do it. So Brewside Eats is a huge opportunity for our students. The next area that's really, really popular, both in North Bay and with Canadore College, is our media area. So one of the things that the corny names for North Bay, I'm not sure everyone likes that I call it corny, but I find it funny, is Hollywood North. And that's because there's a ton of movies and shows that are filmed here. A lot of people don't realize there's an incentive. There's a tax credit, as well as it's less expensive, right? Spaces to rent, places to live, accommodating. If you're moving into if you're using someone's house, that all costs a lot less than it would in a bigger city. So that has made North Bay a very popular destination. In fact, there's a production company that has a set right across from my house. So we've had the misfortune of accidentally interrupting a few scenes by pulling out of the driveway. So it's fun. It's really neat to see these things. I've seen my house in shows, so it's really exciting. And for our students, this means you get hands-on experience. So with our digital cinematography program, with our acting for stage and screen programs, these students are getting huge opportunities to actually work in real-world scenarios that you might not get elsewhere. Additionally, we have equipment that other schools simply don't have. One being the Sony Venice camera, the other one being the Epic Red camera. These are cameras that some people in the industry or their careers never get to touch, never get to work with. They dream of this, and our students are getting to do this within the first 3 years. The Dolby Atmos soundstage. There's only 2 institutions of all of North America that have this. One of them's in Florida, the other one's in North Bay. Are there other opportunities to work on campus other than the food truck? 100%. I'll get to that a little bit more. And with the Dolby Atmos soundstage, you learn this both in our post-production program as well as in our 3rd year of your digital cinematography program. So this is an amazing chance to set yourself aside, because one thing I always tell students is when you're selecting where you want to go to school, you want to pick the right fit, but you also want to look at what unique experiences you have, because you're going to be graduating with a lot of people that did the same program as you. So what does a school offer you that's different, that's going to set you apart? Because that's what we're doing this for, right? That's why you're spending the money. And this is the same with our other programs. Our broadcast programs, we work with the North Bay Battalion. Our students get the opportunity to do that. Our graphic design, they work with local businesses, and graphic design is a cool field because it's ubiquitous, meaning it's everywhere. And employers are starting to learn that you don't necessarily have to hire someone that lives in your city, right? So that's one of the things that COVID has taught us, is that, and hence this fair, you don't have to be in the same town to do work, or you don't have to be in the same city. You don't have to be anywhere to present information. So we're giving opportunities. People are being hired locally from North Bay to work for companies overseas, and to work in the States, and to work in Toronto or Ottawa for graphic design firms. So graphic design is one of those really cool programs. Another one is our game design and development. So this is one of our newer programs. It's really cool because it actually teaches you game design from the start to finish. So you learn about programming, you learn about design, you learn about storyboarding. It's a 3-year project to build your video game. Additionally, one of the things I like about this program is that you can get into this with a workplace level English. So that's a question. This is one of the few programs in the entire college system that it's a 3-year advanced diploma, and you can get in with your high school and workplace level English. So if that's a concern, your English, say you're really scientific, you really like computer programming, but English isn't quite your strength, don't let this stop you. This program is a huge opportunity to still do this. And the last one, probably I would say our fastest growing program, is recording engineering music production. Our faculty is, one of our faculty is Juno nominated. So we have a recording studio, we have a vocal booth. You basically learn the business. We have, I don't know how many editing suites, quite a few. Last I counted was like somewhere around between 15, 20 along the hallway. So there's a ton of opportunities to get hands-on experience, learning the business of music, learning how to record music, learning how to play music. So recording engineering music production, it's very popular, and I can see why. And with that, it's not just having a band, right? You could be doing music tracks for commercials. You could be doing music tracks or vocals for TV shows. It's really a very broad field. So that's why the program is designed the way it is, so that you're not just pigeonholed into one area. Do you recommend, does it transfer into any degree program? Yes, I do recommend the Community and Justice program. It transfers into a few degree programs, actually. So if you go on the Community Justice website, I recommend it because you get a 400-hour placement. I believe it's 400 hours. There's quite a few programs with placements, so if the timing is a little bit different, but with the placements big, right? Because placements often lead to jobs. I can speak to that from experience. And then it does transfer degree programs. So I'm actually a grad of a related program. I took Police Foundation, so I was at Canadore, and then I used my time that I've accumulated to go into a degree program at Carleton University. So yes, this does have pathways. If you go to the pathways on the website, you'll actually see. Are there opportunities to work on campus other than the food truck? Yes, I will cover that. And then our students back on campus for classes. Yes, actually, we're one of the few schools we were delivering our practical components on site throughout COVID. We were able to. That's one of the advantages of going to a smaller school or being a smaller school. We didn't have we weren't trying to accommodate hundreds and hundreds of students in a class. We were actually able to make it work where students were doing theory portions virtual and hands-on, because if you're working in trades, if you're working in healthcare, if you're working in media, if you're working in the environment, you want to be on site. Culinary, you can't be learning all these things virtual. So yes, short answer, yes, students are back on class, and we're expecting to increase the numbers next year. And then aside from media, one of our big areas that's coming is our Entrepreneurship Academy. So Canadore is big on entrepreneurship. We have some announcements coming with that. I won't say too much. I encourage you to watch our website and you'll see. But business programs, business is huge. I always tell students, if you're not sure what to take, business is always a great starting point because it's so broad. You can learn some accounting, you can learn some general business, entrepreneurship, you can learn some marketing, you can learn some advertising, all collaborative within your business. So if you're wondering what to take, this is a really good place to start. And then there's pathways. So if you decide to continue your education, you can always do that. And then the environment. So our environmental programs, protection and compliance, biotechnology, especially as we look towards careers in sustainability, these are going to be huge, high in demand fields. And one thing I always like to tell students is when you're taking a program that involves the environment, you want to also look at the campus, right? You want to look, okay, so if I'm taking a campus in the middle of a city that's a concrete jungle, how many times am I actually going to get to go and work in the field? How many hands-on experiences am I going to get? We're going to get into a bus and go once every few weeks? With us, you'll see from our virtual tour, you're literally, from our environmental labs, you walk down the stairs and you're into hundreds of acres of forested area, ponds. So in terms of being able to collect specimens and do hands-on work, I would argue that there's not very many opportunities that exist that are like that. And then the last campus I'm going to cover is the West Parry Sound campus. So the West Parry Sound campus is located in Parry Sound, Ontario. And this offers our practical nursing and our personal support worker program only. Now, that's not where it's offered solely. I just want to make sure that that's clear. This is an amazing option. Parry Sound's beautiful, but we also offer it at College Drive as well. So it's offered in 2 locations. I'm sorry, before I go back. So I keep talking about class sizes. Well, the reason class sizes are important are for a few reasons. You get more contact time with the professor, more lab time, more equipment availability, and for us, this creates a better educated, more confident student. There's not a benefit to us if our students are graduating from the programs and not doing well in the field. We constantly rank amongst the highest in employer satisfaction, and that's due to the fact that we spend a lot of time to train our students and make sure that they're prepared. So programs, I have mentioned a lot of them. We have over 80 full-time programs. Many of these can be transferred to part-time, and they have pathways. So consider a pathway an opportunity to further your education. So earlier I spoke about my experience with pathways. So when I graduated from Canadore, I thought, I'm really not, I'm still pretty young. I could probably start working, but I didn't have great high school marks, but I had amazing marks in college because I was really taking something I was interested in. So what options do I have? Well, I decided I could go to university. So I had a pathway opportunity with Carleton University, and I took that. I got a year off my 4-year degree, so I was able to complete a 2-year diploma and a 4-year degree in 5 years. So 2 credentials. Additionally, we have 2 and 2 agreements as well. So you can do 2 years in college, 2 years in university, and you get the 4-year degree. So that's 6 years of education. So when you're picking a program, if you're thinking of furthering your education, always look at the pathway guide. We see students that start off with workplace level English that go all the way through a college program and decide they want to move on to university. So this is a really cool opportunity. Don't let what's happened in the past stop you from attaining your goals. You can definitely do that. College gives you a ton of hands-on experience, and you can get great jobs right out of college. So in terms of finance, college or university, it's expensive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It is. However, being a smaller school of 5,600 students, we offer 1.7 million in internal bursaries and scholarships each year. So if there's any advice I can give you, no matter where you go to school, obviously I hope it's Canadore, is apply to your bursaries. Even if you only meet one or two of the criteria, submit your application. This is free money. And when you're in school, I can assure you from experience, you want to take any opportunity you can get to get free money. If you go the OSAP route, you're gonna have to pay some of that back. If you go the line of credit route, or you borrow from family or friends, or even if someone's paying it for you, who doesn't like free money? Some of these bursaries will require you to spend maybe 15 minutes to an hour writing a little blurb as to why you think you're eligible. You can get from $500 to $2,500 as a bursary for doing this. I challenge you to find the job that for less than an hour, you can make that type of money. So do it, no matter where you go to school. Student success services. So being a smaller school, we're fortunate to be able to devote a lot of time and efforts to your success. With the Student for Success services, if you have individualized learning plans, if you have needs with regards to testing, if you need assistive learning devices, tutoring, mental health support, counseling, we can all offer that through the Student Success services. Additionally, one of the really cool initiatives that they offer is the summer transition. So one of the things I hear most from students is when school year starts is I have anxiety trying to find my classes. It's a new building, it's a new city. It can be very stressful. And I can say that myself. I actually, before COVID, I just finished a credential at another university I'd never been to before. And when I went there for the in-class portion, it was really stressful because it was huge and I didn't know where anything was. We try to help you with that. So through summer transition, we can actually get you in early, get you into residence early, show you where the classes are, show you where the services are, let you navigate yourself around the school. So when the first time starts, when the class time starts, you're ready to go. You don't have that additional stress, and it's free of charge. You just have to register. Now, the Center for Career Development. I've heard some questions about jobs. Center for Career Development. This is something I say to every student I speak to. And they don't always like to hear it, but it's the reality. I have a tendency to be a little too realistic sometimes. You're doing the right thing by looking at schools and getting post-secondary education. The stats don't lie. You'll make more money and you'll do better long-term by doing this. However, there's a lot of people that are doing the same thing as you, and there's a lot of people asking about the same programs, same careers. So what can you do? The first thing I mentioned before is pick a program that's going to give you unique experiences. The second is our Center for Career Development. So the Center for Career Development can help you write a really good cover letter, really good resume, and do a really good interview. We can provide you with that support. We have a job portal available to students where our team from Center for Career Development are actually connecting employers to our students. So the manager of the Center for Career Development travels all over the province trying to find employers. And through that job portal, tries to build a direct connection, right? So you actually have that step on it is that they're looking for Canadore grads. So you can use that job portal. Additionally, they offer student jobs. So so the food truck being one of them, but there's a ton of opportunities in a lot of fields related. For example, with our practical nursing and our healthcare programs, we have students that get to work in the labs. So you get that additional experience. I have a student right now that works for me. They're a respiratory therapy student doing their placement in a city that's 16 hours away from where we are right now. But I didn't want to, they've been an amazing help for us. So I still want them to be able to work. So I'm letting them work remotely, and they're doing some of our remote recruitment initiatives and supporting us that way. So we do have flexibility with the jobs as well. The food truck's a great opportunity, right? You can actually get opportunities to have experience doing work in addition to your program. Take digital cinematography. If you go on our website, our orientation videos were actually filmed and produced by our digital cinematography students. So think about the experience they're going to have, right? When that group of students comes out of school. Not only through the 3 years of their program have they worked with equipment that's second to none that most people never get the chance to even go near, but they're actually going to get the job experience of saying that they produced and made videos for an Ontario college this is something a lot of companies don't get the opportunity to do it themselves as well. And this is through our Center for Career Development's jobs. So definitely, if you come to Canadore, when the jobs get posted, apply. I'm sure you can find something within your area. Then the last but not least is our sport and wellness. So similar to high schools, we didn't have a lot of opportunities for to play sports last year. It was shut down. They're coming back. Varsity basketball, soccer, as well as volleyball. We have club sports. So club meaning you might do tournaments and then you only practice once a week. It's not as strenuous as a varsity schedule. I did it when I was a student. I played hockey. It was a lot of fun. But then additionally, there's recreational sports. It's about wellness. It's about having that opportunity to do things that are going to create a balance. So that this is where we can help. And then our newest initiative is esports. So a lot of schools have gotten into esports, and we're no different. You'll have the opportunity to compete amongst your school and against other schools as well. Our esports arena is under construction. It'll be ready for fall 2022. Now, in terms of new programs, we have the electrician, construction, and maintenance apprenticeship. I always like to preface this by saying you need to have the employer lined up. You don't apply through OCAS. So make sure you have your employer lined up. And another piece of advice I give to students is don't pick an apprenticeship that's 8 hours away from your employer, especially if you have to live and fund yourself in both cities. I've had a friend do that, and it became very, very cumbersome for them. So make sure you're picking them close by. And then cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is this is a great field. This is huge. I mean, we're doing a cyber event right now. So this, if you're interested in computers, if you have some credentials already and you're looking for a pathway, a quick 1-year certificate that's going to give you a leg up, this cybersecurity program is definitely one of them. And then the last two, I'm grouping them together. And this is our Honors Bachelor of Advanced Manufacturing Technology Management and Honors Bachelor of Science in Nursing. We're proud to offer these as our first two standalone Canadore College degree programs. I get asked, and I asked this question from the start, why would you take a degree in college, right? Degrees are university. But however, Statistics Canada has found even college degrees are typically built based on industry needs. So you're not going to see things like, you're not going to see hobby type degrees. These degrees are built to get you into jobs. And in fact, they're 12% more likely, and you can earn up to 12% more. And the other advantage is class sizes. Our Honors Bachelor of Science in Nursing program, we're capping the first year at 38. So you're going to get a huge opportunity to get so much hands-on experience that's going to put you ahead. We even keep the labs open on the weekends, supervised, so that students have the opportunity to practice their simulations there. So class sizes. I can't say this enough, especially with programs that involve practical components. Additionally, cost. So the cost to take a degree at a college is traditionally less. So that's something you want to consider. Additionally, we're offering incentives. So both have entrance scholarships. They're ongoing from $500 to $2,500. So if you have great marks and you're applying, that's something you can look forward to. Then the last thing is residence. So our residence buildings are some of the newest in the province. They offer full kitchens. So full kitchens, it might sound a little funny, but it really makes a difference. Some schools you have to go to residence, and then you might have to go wait down the hall to use a stove in a common room, which A, can not always be the most sanitary, and B, can be really time consuming. And if you don't have a lot of time, you end up maybe not eating the best. So with the stove, you have the freedom. We have an amazing culinary program. So I always tell students, if you don't like cooking or you're not good at cooking, just find the culinary students. Ask to room with a culinary student. They'll teach you how to cook, or maybe you can get them to cook for you. So this is really cool. Additionally, our bus passes, you have the option to include that in your tuition. So when you print out your student card, you don't have to worry about transportation on top of that. That's covered. And the last thing is social life. So our residence buildings, we have a few of them. You have the great opportunity to socialize there, but as you can see in kind of behind in the picture, Nipissing's buildings are close by as well. So you have a whole other group of people that you can make friends with. All our first year students are guaranteed a spot, and you do get the opportunity to stick around if you want as well. So if in your upper years you decide you want to stay on residence, that's an option also. So last but not least is our Join Us page. So our Join Us page, there's a virtual tour. We have a program guide. You have a chance to win tuition. We do a monthly draw for AirPod Pros, Beats, and Bose headphones. We just mailed some out last week, or no, sorry, 2-3 weeks ago. I'm losing track of time, to Elliott Lake. And that's, you don't even have to apply to sign up for these things. So make sure to sign up. And then you can scan the QR code here, or I will take you to the Join Us page. So if you have a look at the Join Us page, here's our virtual tours. So you'll see we have one of each campus. And I will just kind of show you. You can fill out a form here too. If you want to ask a question on the form, you have a chance to win an Apple iPad. But I'll take you quickly to the hangar. So it's the Air Canada hangar. So on our virtual tours, you can come and see us. We'd be happy to tour you around. But if you want to get a feel for it before you come down, or you're not able to make it, this is always an amazing option. So you can actually do a 360 tour. They're narrated as well. And that's for all 3 North Bay campuses, our Parry Sound campus, as well as residents. Now, bear with me. I'll get you back to the Join Us page. And then there's our program guide. So if you want to scroll through our program guide, we can mail you one out. If you want a program guide and you'd like some Canadore swag, I'll send you that out. But if you want to scroll through it, even makes the page sound. There's a video, and then there's our contest, and you can book a virtual session. So the contest, like I said, each month we're giving away a pair of AirPods Pro, and you'll be automatically entered into our grand prize draw for one of 2 $5,000 tuition credits. And the last thing I want to mention is our virtual open house. It's coming up Saturday from 11:30 to 1 p.m. via Zoom. Faculty and staff will be on hand to answer all your questions, and just by registering, you're entered into our grand prize draw. So the first draw is an Apple MacBook Pro, Apple Magic Mouse, and a pair of AirPods. And then we have a $1,000 and a $500 tuition credit available. So attend open houses. This is the best way to seek information. You can hear it from me, but you want to speak with faculty as well. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. So that's it for me. I'll open it up to questions. I've had a few, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that are left. No problem. Thanks for having us, or me. The admission requirements would depend on the program. So if you're looking, most of our programs, you need your high school diploma as well as a college level English. That's what the vast majority are. But there's somewhere that might require a science or a math. Like, for example, a lot of our healthcare programs will require science, and then a math will be required in some of our aviation programs. So it really depends. The best way to determine is if you go on our website to the programs. If you click on the right, it shows the admission requirements for each program, as well as the tuition fees, the curriculum, the program contacts. Where do you go to speak to advisors? So I would say the Join Us page. So if you go to canadorecollege.ca/Join Us page, I'll just share it again real quick. You can fill out this book a virtual session. Right here, book a virtual session. If you click on there, you fill this out. The email will come directly to me, and then we can figure out what's going to be needed. So if I'll reach out to you via email and say, who do you want to meet with? If you just want to meet with a member of the recruitment team, we'll figure out the format that works best for you. If you want to meet with student services or faculty, we can do that also.
Awesome. So that looks like it's about time. So we hit the 45-minute mark. Thank you, Jesse, for talking to us about Canadore College. There's still sessions running today until 6 p.m., everyone, so keep attending more booths. These recordings of these sessions will also be available after the presentations are done, so you can find those there, and you can access those later throughout the week or whenever you want to look back on it. So again, thank you, Jesse.
Thanks.
Have a good day, everyone.